Well, kids, welcome to another episode of Rimshots with Sean, brought to you by Barstools and Bandtalk. And this is an interview that is all about networking because I met this gentleman's wife online. She's a journalist there, and I started talking to her, and through her, I met her husband, Davy Cassidy, who is in one of my favorite places in the world, Ireland. How are you, sir?
All good, man. Yeah, nice to finally get talking to you, Sean. Let me just correct you. She's not the wife yet.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Yeah,
Good for the clarification. So you guys are Northern Ireland, correct? Or are you in like north of Dublin, or are you in the northern part of the country? Where do you reside?
yeah, we're about 100 mile up north from Dublin, up in the north of Ireland, up County Armagh. Yeah,
So you, sir, are a drummer. You've got a YouTube page. I've subscribed to it. I'm a drummer. I can appreciate. I've got a lot of respect anytime anybody kind of puts themselves out there for, because let's call it what it is. You do it, because you love it. You do it because maybe you want to have people notice your craft, but you also open yourself up to a lot of criticism and a lot of people that aren't doing it but feel the need to criticize. So first off, way to go on that.
yeah.
What made you want to get this started? What was it that you wanted to and tell everybody what the name of your channel is?
Yeah, the YouTube channel is called Davy Cassidy Drum Life, and it actually started off. I was going in. I wasn't playing with any bands at the time. This was last year, and I just thought I would go in and work on stuff. A lot of my rehearsing was with bands, Sean. So you weren't getting much time to. You weren't spending much time on technique and stuff. You were going in and rehearsing songs all the time. So I thought I'll set my iPhone up and I'll record my progress over the next few months. So that's how it started. And I was putting those up on YouTube, and a friend of mine that owns the studio, James Wilson, Studio 2, he seen them and said, here, the drumming's good on them, but the production's terrible. So
Right.
he was honest about it. And I knew that myself. It was just on an iPhone. There was no mics around the kit. No, I was just recording it flat like that and putting it out.
Sure.
So he said, "What if I help you with it? He had the light. He's got the lights, the mics, the studio." So Jamesy said he would help me to kind of bump it up a notch, just production wise. So I started it in January. I'm 6 episodes in. I put out one episode every month. So I'm 6 episodes in now, working on this month's one at the minute. And it's going really good, man. It's really steady, hard. You probably know yourself, Sean. It's hard to get subs and views and then trying to promote it and all. So Sarah, as well as being my partner, she's my manager and does the PR and all. So I only have to worry about the drumming part of it, so she does that whole end of things, the kind of the business side. So that's been a massive help to me. And then Jamesy doing all the production. I only hit the thing, Sean. I don't know. I don't know anything about all that, the production, and so Jamesy takes care of that. Sarah takes care of the promoting.
It's smart though for my podcast, I have a small team. I've got a lady named Lisa Davis that helps me. My producers, Jason McCourse, and a couple other folks give me a hand. Because you can't do it all yourself, and it doesn't matter. I mean, typically, if you stick with something, eventually people do notice, and it's very hard to do it all yourself. So it's smart that you're doing that. And again, as far as the subscribers and stuff, I feel you're paying there too, right? Because I mean, you think you do something really interesting. And then,
Yeah,
like a friend of mine had that thing last week about that girl that went viral for something stupid. And he's like, I'm going to throw my drums out the window. She's getting a reality TV show.
yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the reality that we deal with. So have you got, I guess, to the mental part of this whole thing, which anybody that does it gets to, where you get frustrated because maybe what you're doing isn't resonating like you think it should when you see stupid things that do? Because I'm there every day. So, just to share that with you.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I do get them. I do get to that stage often, but I always try and remind myself, this is going to be. You just keep building at it. I'm doing it because I love it, and if whatever comes after that, then that's a bonus. But of course, you want more people to see it. I put a lot of work into it. It's one song out per month, so I spend that month really dissecting the song, and they're not, they're not easy songs. I'm doing
Yep.
Rush and Tool and stuff, and I'm trying to pick ones that are going to push me as a player too. So if I'm progressing with my playing, that's kind of my reward out of it. But yeah, you do. Jamesy, being the guy in the studio, he was telling me, about why don't you join TikTok? TikTok's this thing that, people's getting millions of hits and stuff. And I was looking at it, man, and like you said, it's a lot of dumb stuff on it. And I was like, nah,
Yep.
if I'm going to make a name for myself, I'll do it honest on the way I want to do it. And that's the way I'm going to do it.
Well, I mean, here's what happens, and I've experienced it a few times where somebody will see what you're doing and they'll go, "Oh, well, he's doing it, I can do it." Then what
Yep.
happens is they realize the amount of work that it is. They realize that, and I've got a friend that kind of is in that place right now. He's like, I'm spending 20 hours a week and I'm not seeing any results, and it's like, I'm 4.5 years in on my podcast and what I've been doing, and I still get frustrated because I see some people that are doing stuff that I personally think might not be as quality, maybe having a little bit more success. But you're right.
Yep.
You just got to put your head down and focus on your own thing, and people will eventually get it.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's you can lead a horse to water,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
especially I'd never drummed. I love the band Tool. I'd never drummed any of their stuff, and then there was a lot of people was messaging me going, until you play some Tool, there was kind of, they were daring me to play the Tool stuff, and I wanted to get round to the Tool stuff, and I said, it was only like the third episode, and I said, right, well, I'll get this Tool one out of the way, and it was a lot of learning. Donny
Yep.
Carey's not cover, and I done it, and I thought this one's going to go through the roof. No views and stuff, but nah, it doesn't work like that. Like you said, Sean, you could think it's the best thing you've ever done, and you might not get the reward for it.
I had to actually leave a drum site because there was a guy, and I felt really bad for him, and I reached out to him. He had a beautiful drum set,
Yeah.
and it was set up in a way that was comfortable for him to play. And there's a few people, oh, that's beautiful, that's nice. And one guy gets on there and just rips them. Literally goes every drum, every setup, every concept. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. And I didn't respond because I didn't want to turn it into a whole day long argument with some bozo I'll probably never meet.
Yeah.
But I just sent him a message and I said, look, man, whatever works for you is great. The fact that you posted that is great. There's no set rule that you have to do this or you're not part of the club. Have you been getting any, your feedback's been good. I've seen the comments, but do you get that one or two people that maybe try to be idiots that hey, you're not doing this right, or have you experienced that yet?
Something, I have been really lucky. If there had been any of that, Sean, I'd tell you, but I've been really, really lucky. The comments have been 100% supportive and kind and encouraging. I haven't had. I was expecting some. That's why I really work hard on the song, because I know these are going to be posted. If it's a Slipknot song, it's going to go on Slipknot sites and stuff like that. So I'm not leaving any room for. I'm trying not to leave any gap where they can come at me and go, well, that's not the way he played it, or you've missed something out there. So I'm trying to get as close to it as I can. But you're still going to get a-holes. But I've been lucky. I have been lucky now. I haven't had any of that so far. So fingers crossed, man.
Well, and it's funny because about 2 years ago, a friend of mine took some video at a club that I was playing, and he was on an older phone, and he posted it. And I mean, the audio wasn't great. The video looked cool. The audio wasn't amazing. But he's like, do you have a problem with me posting it? And I said, no. And I shared it, and I ended up getting 2 or 3 recording gigs out of it. But my band got some gigs because, they liked the vibe of it. So I guess
Yeah.
my whole thing is, man, just put out there whatever you want to put out there, and who gives an absolute crap what people actually think? You know what I mean? That's kind of the way I look at it.
Yeah. That's a good way to be too. It's less stressful for you. I think I'm a bit OCD about it too, you know. And then I want to, if I'm doing it, any of those videos I do, I'm doing them as a tribute to the drummer. I respect the drummer. I'm not going to be
Yep.
putting up stuff that I'm not into, or you know. So I want to, if I'm going to pay respects and tribute to them, I'm going to do it best I can. Like. Yeah.
So any musician is a product of his influences, and it doesn't matter, you know, who says what. Whatever your influences are, you're going to tend to play that material better. You're going to tend to like that material better. So in terms of your influences, who would some of those be?
Probably all the usuals for any drummers listening: John Bonham, Vinnie Colaiuta, Dave Abruzzese, Joey Kramer, Chad Smith, Jimmy Chamberlain. The list goes on, but those were all the guys when kind of I was growing up. I started playing when I was 15. My dad was a drummer. My dad's a great drummer too. He never gave me lessons or anything. I'm self-taught, but there was always drums and music around the house, and that's kind of how I fell into it as a kid. But I don't think my dad really wanted me, you know, playing drums. He'd have been my first kind of. I was looking up to him and inspiring me to. And then when he heard I was looking at drum kit, he was like, "You don't want to be you don't want to be playing drums." And I ended up I talked them around. But yeah, all those guys, especially Aerosmith at that age, man, was huge for me. I was such a fan of Permanent Vacation had just come out, and a friend of mine lent me that album on cassette tape. You remember them, Sean?
So yeah, I do. 100.
He lent me that, and I played the thing out. I loved the band. So there was another friend of ours, and he had all the earlier Aerosmith stuff, the earlier albums, the proper Aerosmith, the bluesy stuff, and so he would lend me that stuff, Clive, and then we ended up putting a band together. That was my first band. So shout out to the Scurvy Dogs. What a name!
Nice.
Yeah.
And you know, it's funny because I put up, and it's tough to, you know, somebody said, you know, put out the challenge, who's your top 20 influences, and I put mine out. And I had a bunch of people, oh my God, this person's on there, and it's like, look, I'm from Canada. I grew up in Canada. Neil Peart, I understand Neil Peart's importance in the world. I didn't grow up a Rush fan, therefore I'm a Neil Peart fan.
Yeah.
As a person, an amazing person. I mean, that last documentary about his last tour was incredible. I did not grow up listening to Rush, so I get a lot of people dump on me for that. I don't dislike Rush. I totally respect them.
Yeah.
But I grew up on, you know, Bonham. I grew up on, you know, like Robert Sweet from Striper and you know, Frankie Banali from Quiet Riot, who are all, I guess, Bonham-esque players, and Eric Carr from Kiss, and Scott Rockenfield from Queen, and you know, I could go on, but
Yeah.
you know, Ian Pace, Bill Ward. The
Yes.
thing is your influences are your influences, and I think people just really have to relax and understand that, because everybody's got something to offer. There's no prototypical player. This player isn't, you know, again, it's all opinion. And so I just wish people would kind of get over that and let people do the thing. I think it'd be a happier musical community. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
Yeah, and it's good that we all have different influences. Like there's always going to be the usual suspects in there. John Bonham's mentioned in almost every drummer's top 10 or whatever, but you have to have, for my influences a bit different from yours. So me playing, my playing's going to sound different than your playing, you know. So
Yeah.
that's a good. But yeah, people get hung up on it. I seen one the other day, and people were cracking up online about some guy had put up his top 20, and Lars Ulrich was in there, and people were going, "Lars, what is it?" You know, they were losing their minds over it. Yeah.
Well, here's I saw one of those too, and here's the thing: like it or lump it, the guy's place in history. Forget about genre of music. The guy's place in music and history is firm.
Yeah.
And if you don't like that, that's kind of just too bad. And I mean, you know, he's one of four guys that started playing that music back in, you know, the early '80s that influence that music. And again, like it or not, he's justified. He's there. And so I get why I think people dump on Lars a little bit too much because of his personality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've met him.
Yeah.
People say, what's Lars like? Because I've met him a bunch of times, and my word is consistent. And by that I mean his personality has been consistent every time I meet him. And I think that sometimes overshadows what he's done, and it's too bad because obviously he doesn't care. He's pretty confident in what he does, right? So,
Yeah.
so you're working on your next episode. Have you been doing much gigging over there?
The last, I was kind of just focusing on the channel, Sean. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it wasn't really
Yeah.
bands or gigs on it. I'd got to the point I've been playing bands all my life, and I wanted to do something for myself. So I just thought now's the time. So that's why I got stuck into the channel. And then a friend of mine from years ago, I hadn't seen him in like 20 years, and he's a great blues guitarist from Ireland, Paul Sherry. And his drummer couldn't do a couple of gigs at the Rory Gallagher Festival there in Donegal. So he got in touch. He had seen the videos, and he got in touch and asked me to go step in to do that. So it was nice to get out of the studio and out playing in front of people again. So that was only like there at the end of May, and it was great. But on the Friday and the Saturday, I'd never been to the Gallagher Festival. Always heard about it and always wanted to go. But real great, brilliant vibe at it. People were great. Massive crowds, and all there just for blues music and rock music. So it was cool, man. But look, man, Sarah puts up there about I'm available for session work and gigs and festivals or whatever it is. So anything comes along. I've had a couple of offers, but it's been stuff that wouldn't really be my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mentioned to her because I one of the things that took me a while to wrap my head around, and it's through dealing with other people that are successful in the business, is to never prejudge an opportunity. So, you might want to be the live drummer, and then somebody calls you and says, I need you to play this cymbal part on it. So just really looking at everything. And since I've, stopped prejudging opportunities, I do my podcast, I play live, I interview people, I MC shows, I promote shows, there's all kinds of stuff that I do. One of the things that I did tell Sarah is, I get things that come my way that I'm not the guy for, and I'll put you on my list of people to farm out to, because if you have access to do it, right? So,
I have, yeah.
Yeah, because one of the things that people need to understand is what we do is all about networking, right? It's all about trust. It's about getting to know people, and being a person of your word. So yeah, no problem at all. So what do you have? What's your goal this year for? You said one a month. So you said you get 6 up now. So is the goal to have 6 more, I guess, for this year?
Yeah, just try and finish the year out, and I've got one in mind that I'd like to finish the year with, Sean. It's a Porcupine Tree song, a guy Gavin Harrison.
Yeah.
I was watching the video of him playing that at a drum clinic, and I was like, wow. So if I can get anywhere close to that, that's what I'll aim for maybe end the year on that one. So just keep up, head down, and put one out every month. And like I was saying there about, I've had offers and I've kind of naysayed them, but there were offers to be in bands. I don't mind. I'll play session stuff if it's somebody's looking recorded for pop, funk, country, whatever it is. I don't mind that. But to join a band is a big commitment, so it would need to be something. It would need to be up my street. But as
Absolutely.
for yeah, yourself. So
well, and I mean, last weekend it was funny. I had it felt like I played 80 sets because I did a couple sets with one band that I play with, and the next night on Saturday I did a set with another band that I play with, and my old band from a number of years ago. And then I went back over and did a couple other sets. By Sunday I was just like, what did I do? And now it looks like I'm gearing up to do the exact same thing this weekend. But I enjoy it. I wouldn't if I didn't enjoy it. Like my friend says, it's kind of like your mother's telling you to eat your peas. Like, not all of us get to do this, and so I'm thankful. Where can my viewers find out more about you and what you got on Davy Cassidy? Let them know so that they start looking for you.
Yeah, well, the main page is the Facebook one, and Sarah runs that. That's just Davy Cassidy Drum Life Facebook page. Then there's the YouTube channel, Davy Cassidy Drum Life. And then I'm on Instagram just under my own name, Davy Cassidy. So people can hit me up on there. No problem find me. Yeah, so the main thing is the YouTube channel. I'm really trying to get the subs up, Sean, just like anybody that's doing this, trying to get the subs and so. And then I was saying to Sarah, should I be trying to think of what people might want to hear? And she was like, no, you do it for you, and then whatever comes of it, it's genuine.
Yeah, I through the course of doing this thing, because I also do a Wednesday night. I guess host a Wednesday night show for a record label that I work with, and I get to meet this guy by the name of Michael Brandvold. And if you Google Michael Brandvold used to do all the digital marketing for KISS. So he came up with their website. He used to do all their socials. He actually helped them, create the whole, fan events and all those types of things. And Michael's got this thing where he hammered it in my head. Don't worry about numbers. Numbers are fleeting. Get your first 1,000 subscribers. And I was just like, yeah, the heck with you, Michael, because I see all these people that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Until I sat in on a YouTube tutorial, and there was a girl that had almost 800. She had almost 1 million subscribers. And the guy asked her how much she made. She said about $3,500. He goes, no, you got about 2,500 subscribers, meaning it's engagement, right? So whatever you have, get them engaged, and that's where things happen. And it's tough because everybody that doesn't know the game gets caught up in numbers. So I would just say keep plugging away. I'll keep sharing your stuff, man, and it'll happen.
Yeah, that's it, man. Just stop showing head down and keep at it. Before I go, I wanted to give a shout out to just James Wilson. I mentioned him there earlier. That guy, like, I wouldn't be able to do the channel without him. So check him out on Facebook. It's the Oily Rag Music Sessions on Facebook, and Studio 2 rehearsals as well. And then Sarah is Sarah Nuttall Words and Music. She's on Facebook. She does management and PR. And shout out to my Canadian friends. I've been going to Canada. I've been over 3 or 4 times to Thunder Bay. I have a lot of friends in Thunder Bay.
Oh, so shout
cool. Yeah, Marianne Madigan and Leanne Hashiguchi and family and friends, man. I'd love to get back over again. Yeah,
that's amazing. And Sarah is going to be creating a drummer fan magazine, so that's going to be pretty cool.
That's right, Harry. Thanks for reminding me about that. Yeah, I think she's aiming for the first episode to be out in September, and then she's going to have her website by then too. So that'll be really cool. Is she doing one? Are you going to be in it?
She's asked me to, yeah, and I'd be honored to. That'd be fantastic. And she's been great at sharing the stuff that I'm working on with Michelle Ryder and all that good stuff. So both of you guys, thank you for that, because it's that material is doing very well. And guess what? It's doing well without help from people in her own backyard. And so we'll take it. I want to thank you for this, man. It was nice to finally meet you. We're going to stay in touch. Yeah. What do you got?
Yeah, I wanted to say, tell Michelle I love the song, man. I really love that new song. It's great. So tell her congratulations and good luck with it, Sean.
I will, my friend.
All right.
Davy Cassidy.
Gentlemen, peace out, man. See you later. Thanks, Sean.